Hello, everyone. It's a new season, so let me introduce a new car. Introducing the Dallara IL-15, the latest in the Indycar NXT series, and it's just landed in iRacing. This car has over 450 brake horsepower, rising to 500 when you use its push-to-pass system, which is only 100 horsepower short of a Formula 2 car at 600 horsepower. So this is packing some serious punch. And we're going to be taking it today around Laguna Seca, 17 laps, 20 minutes, and we're in a very high strength of field here, starting P7. Straight away, we're on the go out of the corner, side by side with Rodriguez, who's going to get the position on us because of my poor start, but I don't mind that. Just need to survive this first lap, as these cold tyres can catch a lot of people out. The Dallara does not behave like a normal Formula car. There is not actually a lot of front aero, so you can't just throw it into a corner, which can catch a lot of people out, especially whilst we're also bunched up on full fuel cold tyres. What we're going to see as we come around this right hand corner, two cars going off to the right hand side. Very hard hit for that second one. We can't think about that though. We now have to defend into this next corner. You can see there's a car behind sniffing up our rear, but we get a good enough exit to hold him off. And now we're going to throw the car into this fast left-hander, trying to keep it on the track and stay just about in touch as we're coming up towards the infamous corkscrew. Just getting the car stopped nice and gently here. There's tyres lifting up because of how stiff that suspension is over the undulating track, and now we're downhill through this roller coaster section, really trying to get the car around these corners as best as possible. I run wide over the sand just because I'd overestimate my speed on the cold tyres. And now I need to try and not mess up this exit out of the last corner too much, because we have had that car close up behind us once again, but we're going to get another good exit and get across the line to a safe distance. Now, looking back at that incident on lap one, this was that big hit we saw turning his car into a Beyblade. The second guy got quite lucky though. He's just going to scrape the tyre barrier, but then he does this terrible mistake of reversing onto the racing track, nearly hitting two cars there. That's something you never want to do. After all that excitement on the first lap, everyone started to spread out, which left me in a bit of a void. I was still pushing to keep up with the two cars in front of me, and it was going to take quite a few laps. So on lap 9, we're going to go on board now with Rodriguez, who is in front of us, making a move down the inside into the corkscrew. Quite a daring one. You can see how far back he came, and he's just about going to get the space. There's a little bit of netcode contact between the two of them, but importantly, that fighting has brought me back into contention as I'm now right up behind Rodriguez, and we're going to try and now strategize this race, because I have been trying to save my push pass system that runs for 15 seconds at a time if you let it run all the way. So I'm going to use a little bit of it coming out of the corner here, because you can see Rodriguez in front is using his, but I back off quite quickly because all I need is just to be close enough into turn 1 to stay with them and use that slipstream. And we can see Esterson went very deep into turn 1, which then affects them on the exit of turn 2, meaning that Rodriguez is now a lot closer than they were before. We're going to try and goad Rodriguez here. I want to try and push him into Esterson. They start fighting again, which will let me get an opportunity potentially to get past one or both of them if they come together, because that seems to be the only real way we're going to make any progress at this point. The next cars are already quite a few seconds up the field, so this looks like this will be a battle for P4 between the three of us, which I'm happy with because I have plenty of time here. We still have 7 laps to go, and it looks like Rodriguez and Esterson are going to make a good battle of it. But as we're coming up to the corkscrew, it looks like there's been an incident in front. Esterson's backed off, and we have a car off in the sand to the right. Rodriguez is going to take that opportunity and seize the position, because they are now up to P3. We are now fighting for the last of the podium positions, and this means it's going to be a fierce battle. We're going to get a good whip of that already. Esterson gets a good exit out of that last corner, and he's already launching an attack onto Rodriguez, who's defending early to the inside. Esterson is looking now to the outside. You can make
P5.
that
Keep
move
it up. We're
work
looking
if you
good here.
carry enough
Sector
speed
3 is
and
zero
not go
point
too deep.
0.5
But you
off
can
the
see
pace.
Esterson's washing wide on the corner and trying to get on the power for the exit. Rodriguez has also had a poor exit, so now they're side by side into this next right-hand turn. Esterson has the inside, however, and that's going to give
The
him
car in
back
front
the
is
position. So we're now
Rodriguez, car number
exactly as we
4.
were a lap before. And we'll have to see if that car that went off is going to rejoin us later. And now Rodriguez is not going to give up the pressure, though. They're going to stay right behind Esterson, who you can see is pushing so hard, going all the way off the track, almost through that section. This is going to be perfect for me. I just need to make sure I stay far enough away where I'm not going to get caught up if these two come together, because they are looking like they're going to crash it. How hard they are pushing each other through the corkscrew. Rodriguez has washed wide, but he's going to try and set up the better run now through the downhill twisty section, rushing as far wide and carrying the speed because he wants to be close for that final corner, but he brushes the sand. That loses a lot of his speed, so he's now stuck behind Esterson, and I get a bad exit after crossing over that sausage curd too much, and that's going to start pushing me back towards now what is a recovering Rune. This was that off we saw earlier, P3 at the time. Rune was fighting for P2, and he's going to come down the corkscrew and just lose the rear of the car, sending him off into the sand as he tries to spin around. We're coming past here, but Rune is still very much in this race with the amount of pace that they were having. We see here he's absolutely flying, breaking down into turn 1. And we're not that far ahead. You can just about see me past this car, which he's about to get past here, coming up towards the corkscrew. He times his exit perfectly, and you can see he uses the push to pass system to get past that car like it was not even there. And all this now means he came up right behind me as I started dropping off from the battle in front of me, making a few mistakes myself, which was sending me further and further back and now leaving me at the mercy of Rune, who was on a big recovery drive trying to make up for what he had just lost. Now on to lap 13, and Rune is now on my 6, and I've taken good note because I can see that 5k I rating he has. That's already put a lot of pressure on me because I know he's going to be a lot quicker than I am. But in these closing stages of the race, I actually think I might be able to hold him off, or at least I'm going to have a good go at it just to see how I compare to a driver of his caliber. So I'm now going to be really pushing. I've saved up my push to pass system, expecting I would need it for a scenario like this as Rune goes to our outside into this left-hand corner, likely setting up for the switchback, so I make sure I hold that inside and get a good enough exit. Through the fast left-hand corner, there's not much of an opportunity, but as long as I don't get a bad exit, he might not have me on the run up towards the corkscrew. You can see he's holding position for now, braking a bit early, probably expecting me to make a mistake under the pressure, but I'm holding together, at least for now, as coming down the corkscrew into the twisty section. And Rune has a little bit of a look up the inside there. That's the first 4x of the race. The rest of my X's have all been off tracks, and I'm not really too happy with that, but I could see that I'd opened up the corner a little bit too much for him now. And I've managed to just about hold him through that last corner. You can see now he's going to try and attack me into turn 1. This is the best overtaking opportunity on the track, so I'm going to go really tight here, opening up at the last second, and now try to hold that inside line, get on the power at the midpoint between the two corners to keep my momentum going. So now I can hold this inside to the next corner. You can see Rune is constantly switching back here. He wants the inside to this long right-hand corner, trying to force me offline, so I make a mistake. But I hang about the outside, and that now gives me the inside once again into this left-hand turn. But Rune is much further alongside me now, so I have to make sure I leave the space on the outside. We do come together. There's a bit of net contact between the two of us, and I come out now holding the inside, but this is not a good angle coming into that fast left, which gives me a poor exit, and Rune's going to use that to now get the switchback and come alongside us into the corkscrew. I've made sure I have to leave the space, so this is going to be very difficult. Rune's going to get past us and take the position, but he loses it on the exit, and we come so close to catching him. That was nearly the end of our race, but we are still thankfully in this. And looking back, we can see it was a bit of a good battle between me and Rune. He was being fair, but you could see he was definitely getting frustrated by the fact I was slowing him up from catching the two cars in front of me, who had completely checked out whilst we were battling. I still enjoyed it though. This was a nice little bit of experience in learning how this car drives when fighting a driver of much more skill than what I have, even with me being a 3K sports car driver. I'm a bit of a smurf when it comes to my formula being less than 2K, which might have caught him off guard that I was able to keep at least some pace in this battle. The race isn't over though, because we're going straight back in, and we can see we are now under pressure from Kidson behind. All that fighting with Rune has really slowed me up. You can see the two cars in front are completely checked out, and I'm now facing the full pressure of all the cars behind me, looking to take this place as Kidson tries to go for the inside, even though I'm already there, really trying to push me wide, and I almost make the mistake of going deep there, but I'm able to flick the car around and get on the power so I can try and hold the position and now carry speed around this midsection of Laguna where it's so twisty and technical. But as long as I don't make any mistakes, Kidson's not got a chance in getting past me. However, he's still staying nice and close to keep the pressure on me to make those mistakes. But I do have a lot of push to pass left. You can see it there on the top left of the dash. And there's only 2 more laps in the race. So I've got plenty of time to use it if I need it, but I'm still going to conserve it. And Kidson's gone wide behind us through that fast left-hand corner and lost the position to Pliska, who's going to gain it going into the corkscrew. But that gave me a little bit of breathing space. But coming into the last corner, I'm going to go a little bit deep again and not get the best exit, which gives Pliska the best opportunity now to try and get me into turn 1. I'm on the push to pass, and he is too. You can see just how close he is behind me. I'm feeling the pressure, so I am going to go semi-defensive here, holding the middle of the track. Now just braking hard, making sure I get stopped and not go too deep. Getting on the power to try and flick the car around. I do run wide. That gives me the inside into this next corner once again, and Pliska sees that. He backs off a bit, trying to get the better run through this twisty section, knowing I was off the line, but I'm able to hold enough momentum. But I do run wide and collect another off the track, now up to 12x. My safety rating's not going to enjoy this one, but I just don't care. Pliska's hanging tight right behind me through this entire sequence. There is some dirty air with these cars, but it's not too bad. And Pliska is just about holding on. I'm using little bits of the push pass just to try and keep a gap, but I do lock up big time into the corkscrew, and I lose a lot of time just trying to keep it on the track, not wanting to lose it like Rune did. But that's now cost a lot more time. You can see Pliska is right up my backside trying to pressure me. He's going to have a potential chance into this last corner, but I get a slightly better exit, which lets me take the normal line into the last corner. Now focusing once again just to not make the same mistake like I did a lap before. And now we're on the white flag, so I can start dumping all that push to pass I've saved. And we'll see if Pliska has any left. It looks like they might have run out because I'm starting to pull away, so I take the normal racing line into turn 1. Not wanting to make any mistakes, though I do run a little bit deep. I'm able to still get a good enough exit, and Pliska is still stuck behind me through this twisty section. And I've got plenty more push to pass to still use as we're going around a long right hand corner. I can now get on the push to pass on the run down to the left, and you can see that gap's opening up, and my time is jumping much further into the green. The car's nice and light at this stage. The tire degradation is sort of there, which affects my low speed cornering, but in this high speed the car is just so alive and very much like a normal Formula car. I'm going to be very careful though this time into the corkscrew, braking a little bit earlier. The tires are lifting off the ground still, but there's nothing I can do about that.
Keep the inside line
I've now
covered.
managed to get a safe enough gap coming into the roller coaster for the last time. Pliska's still close enough where they could make an almighty send into the last corner, but I feel confident I'd be able to hold it off, so I take the normal line, hug that inside, and we're going to now just have a nice clean run down to the start finish line, where we're going to finish in P5 after that whole ordeal.
P5. Well done, mate. Good finish.
I was really happy with that result, finishing in P5 in such a high strength of field, especially after battling Rune, who unfortunately didn't finish the race in the end. But the Dallara IL-15 has been an excellent addition to the Formula category. I'm surprised this thing sits in C-Class with how fast it is compared to some of the other cars, but it is really fun. It doesn't drive the same like some of the other Formula cars, but once you get the hang of it, this car has a lot to offer you, and especially over these slightly longer races. I hope in future iRacing will add an open section to this car, because I feel that there's a lot of untapped potential when it comes to what this car can do on a road track. Still, that is the end of today's race. I hope you have all enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, as that helps me a lot on the channel. And I hope to see you all again next time.